welcome to the deep dive. So today we're really zeroing in on the absolute essentials for starting your English learning journey.
Yeah, we've looked at this great guide that honestly, it cuts through a lot of the clutter.
It really does. Our mission here is to give you, the learner, a clear starting point. You know, what to focus on first without feeling totally overwhelmed.
It's all about those foundational pillars and those first practical steps. The source makes a strong case that English is vital globally, but starting smart is key.
Definitely. So, okay, pillar number one, vocabulary, the building blocks, right?
Absolutely. And the guide points out something fascinating. Learn the most common 3,000 words, and you're looking at like 95% understanding in everyday situations.
Wow, 95%, that's huge. It suggests beginners should focus on simple, common words first. A bit like how babies learn.
Exactly. It gives you that immediate practical benefit. You can actually use the language straight away, even a little bit, which is, really motivating.
Keeps you going. Okay, next up, grammar, the language's skeleton.
The structure, yeah. You need it for clarity. The guide highlights starting with the basic subject-verb agreement.
Like he goes, they go.
Right. And basic tenses, present, past, future. Also articles, a, and, the, and that core subject-verb-object sentence structure. Start simple, it says.
Why is getting that basic grammar down early so important?
Well, it's about building good habits. You start to get a feel for how sentences work, even subconsciously. It prevents those common mistakes that can become really ingrained later.
Harder to unlearn them. Okay, pronunciation. This feels like a big one for English learners.
It can be tricky. English spelling often doesn't match the sound at all.
Tell me about it.
So the advice is, focus on the individual sounds, the phonemes, mimic native speakers, understand word stress, intonation.
And they mention the IPA, the International Phonetic Alphabet.
Yeah, which can be super helpful. It gives you a precise symbol for each sound. Getting pronunciation reasonably clear early on just makes communication so much smoother, avoids confusion.
Makes sense. Then we have the 4 core skills. Listening first. The guide suggests simple stuff, like kids' shows.
Or beginner podcasts, yeah.
Yeah.
Start easy, then gradually level up. Active listening is key. Don't stress if you don't get every word initially.
Why is that okay? Not understanding everything.
Because it's about immersion, picking up the rhythm, the patterns, the context. Your brain starts absorbing it even if you're not consciously catching every single word. It primes you for speaking too.
Right. And speaking of speaking, the advice is basically just do it. Start early.
Pretty much. Even simple chats. Find practice partners. And crucially, don't worry about mistakes. They're part of learning.
Easier said than done sometimes, but yeah. Short, regular practice beats cramming.
Absolutely. Consistency is way more effective for building fluency and confidence.
Then reading. Again, start simple. Children's books, basic news.
Yeah, and read stuff you actually find interesting. Note down new words. And reading aloud is mentioned too.
How does reading aloud help?
It connects the look of the word, the sound, and the meaning in your head. Plus, it helps with your own pronunciation and rhythm as you speak.
Okay, and the last skill, writing. Start with sentences, build up to paragraphs. Maybe keep a journal.
Good idea. Focus on basic grammar, punctuation. Yeah. Getting feedback helps too. Even just simple, informal writing reinforces everything.
It forces you to actually construct the language.
Exactly. You're actively applying what you're learning.
Okay, so we have the pillars. But how do you actually begin? First steps. The guide mentions SMART goals.
Yeah, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound. Basically, know why you're learning and what you want to achieve. Like basic conversations.
Why is that goal-setting step so vital?
It gives you direction, motivation, something to aim for and track against. Keeps you focused.
Makes sense. Then learn the alphabet and the basic sounds, those phonemes again.
Right. Getting those sounds right from the start is crucial. It impacts your speaking and your listening.
Foundational stuff. Next, basic greetings and common phrases. Hello, how are you? Thanks for ordering coffee or asking directions.
Yes, and learn them as chunks, as whole phrases.
Why chunks?
Because you can use them immediately for practical communication without needing to dissect the grammar right away. It's a quick win, builds confidence.
Instant usefulness. And finally, build that core vocabulary. Common words, numbers, colors, family, food.
Everyday stuff. High-frequency words. Word lists can help find these. Focus on words relevant to you and your life, your interests.
So if we bring it all together, building that solid base in vocab, grammar, pronunciation, the 4 skills, and taking those first key steps with clear goals,
Yeah.
That's the launch pad.
That's it. The guide really hammers home that consistent effort and, importantly, being okay with making mistakes. That's the secret sauce.
Absolutely. Okay, here's a final thought for you listening. Think about those pillars: vocabulary, grammar, pronunciation, the core skills. Which one, if you really focused on it right now, do you feel would give you the biggest confidence boost?
Yeah, how might really nailing, say, basic pronunciation early on, or maybe rapidly building vocabulary, affect your motivation and your feeling of progress as you start out?
Something to really mull over. And that wraps up our deep dive for today.